This is Roya Fahmy from Generation Change, and I'm very, very privileged to be here with Mr. John Quinones of ABC News and, of course, the show What Would You Do? Mr. Quinones has spoken here tonight at the University of Scranton, and I have one particular question for him. Mr. Quinones, we're in a post-9/11 world now. 10 years has gone by.
Right.
I think diversity in the past, the U.S. much more focused on the Latino communities, the African-American communities, and perhaps somewhat the Asian communities.
Yeah.
I would like to talk to you now about the Arab-American communities, the Arab Americans, the Arabs. What are you seeing 10 years post 9/11? Are you seeing an improvement in Arab-U.S. relations or Arab-American relations in the U.S., or are you seeing that we have a lot more work to do?
I think there's still work to be done. I think, of course, things have improved with the passage of time, but I think there's still a lot of ignorance out there about the Arab and the Arab-American community. I think the fact is that people have all kinds of suspicions and preconceptions. And what I do with the show, What Would You Do, is we try to shatter those misconceptions. So hopefully by doing scenarios that perhaps might involve Arab Americans, we can shine a light on it. But I think there's a lot of work to be done.
Thank you very much, Mr. Quinones. I hope you do more segments.
I hope so,
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We will. Definitely Generation Change will be sending you ideas. Thank you again, Mr. Quinones. I appreciate your time. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you for being an inspiration to all generations.
I hope so.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and thank you. And we're back. So that is a clip of some of the people we interviewed, the wonderful interview with Mr. Quinones.
Absolutely.
Thank you again, Rosette.
Isn't that wonderful? It's
yes,
amazing. Yeah.
Terrific.
And I have to say that he's a wonderful, gracious gentleman, and he was very gracious with his time.
Yes.
And he met with our students, and for some of our communication students, our journalism students, to have access to him as well, we felt was really useful. But we enjoyed him tremendously, and we hope to bring him back sometime.
Wonderful.
In the future.
Wonderful.
So,
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So I must ask you, this naturally segues into who are we bringing in fall of 2012?
Oh my goodness,
we're
really excited. I'm so glad you asked me. We're really excited about this. And John Quinones was wonderful, but you know, he personally belongs to a certain generation of folk. And so we thought that we need to then bring in our students in terms of the kinds of issues that they're
yes.
really sensitive to
yes.
in terms of their age and all of that. So this year we're bringing Dean Abdallah and Scott Blakeman. And this is a wonderful pair of comedians.
Yes.
And they do they have a program called Stand Up for Peace.
Yes.
Dean Abdallah is actually Palestinian American.
Correct.
And then Scott Blakeman is Jewish American.
Yes.
And they travel together just talking about peace. You know, why can't we just sit together and laugh together and, you know, and enjoy ourselves? So we're really excited to have them. We've been looking to have them for the last 2 years.
Yes.
You know, so we were able to get a hold of them this time. So we're really excited that they're coming to the U. And so they will do a comedy act in the evening, but we will have an entire day of activities. We will have workshops that day. We'll have an entire room, hall actually, full of various groups representing multiple areas of diversity and some of those intersecting areas of diversity.
You were going to talk about our title, Generation Change. You are engaging the millennials.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
so we are defining the millennial generation as the late teens to, I believe, the late 20s or so. And they're definitely in college right now, in university right now. They're working, some in the military, different stages, different experiences in their life. So here at Generation Change, we believe that diversity and equity is also about the generations communicating. How, as an educator and as an administrator, Rosette, I would like to ask you a specific question in that, what are the joys, what are the positive things about the millennials as far as reaching out and diversity and understanding go? And what are the challenges you're seeing in this particular generation as far as diversity and equity and social justice?
Okay, let me begin by the challenges. The challenges, first of all, you have to catch them. You know, they are constantly engaged
moving.
doing and busy, multitasking. They multitask a lot.
Yes.
So they're always listening to music and texting and, you know, paying it, you know, so you have to catch them and be able to being able to have a conversation with them. But when you do, I am delighted to say that they are also the most diverse. I have to say that some of the boundaries that maybe their parents and the grandparents, you know, felt they had to observe, these kids are really comfortable around.
Yes.
Chances are they have a friend or a neighbor or a classmate or a teammate who's from a different culture.
Yes.
And so for them, they are quite, they even sometimes take diversity for granted. And so then sometimes you need to pull them back a little bit and say, okay, so beyond the fact that your friend is, you know, African American, or beyond the fact that you listen to Bob Marley once in a while, you know, what does that mean to you in terms of your personal politics and social justice? So that they can then make that transition into their life work and personal calling.
Good.
So that's, you know, that's where we are right now. So as educators, our task is to make them sensitive to the fact that, yes, you might have grown up with all these different folk, but there are people who didn't, and so what is your responsibility to make sure that everyone is accepting or even appreciating of diversity as you are. So that's, you know, that's our challenge right now.
Absolutely. So I have a charge for the millennials. You need to slow down.
Absolutely.
Take a break from social media.
Yeah.
And spend some time with people of the other generations and promote that social justice and diversity. Thank you, Rosette Adera from the University of Scranton, Office of Equity and Diversity. Thank you so much for coming and talking about the Diversity Fair of 2011 and 2012. Excellent. Thank you for arranging a wonderful, wonderful interview with us with Mr. John Quinones. And we hope we'll have you back.
Absolutely. Glad to be here, and I hope I will be back.
Terrific.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, this is ION Television's new public affairs show, Generation Change. Please stay tuned for future episodes. This is Roya Fani. Thank you.